You know that feeling? Your phone lights up with their name and your stomach does a full flip. Your heart races. You can't eat, you can't sleep. You replay every conversation. You check your phone every 5 minutes. Everyone around you says the same thing. That's love. Chase that feeling. If it doesn't feel like that, it's not real. But what if I told you that feeling has nothing to do with love? What if those butterflies, the ones you've been chasing your whole life, the ones movies and songs have been selling you since you were a kid, are actually your body's stress response? What if the person giving you butterflies isn't the one your heart wants, but the one your nervous system is afraid of? Stay with me, because this one is going to change the way you see every relationship you have ever been in.
Let's start with what butterflies actually are, because nobody ever really explains this part. When you're around someone who gives you butterflies, your brain detects something uncertain, something unpredictable. Maybe they're hot and cold, maybe you never know where you stand with them, maybe they make you feel incredible one day and invisible the next. Your brain registers this uncertainty as a mild threat and sends a signal to your adrenal glands to release a hormone called adrenaline. Adrenaline is your body's emergency fuel. It was designed for survival. When it floods your system, your heart beats faster, your breathing quickens, blood rushes away from your stomach toward your muscles. And that rush of blood leaving your stomach, that is the butterflies. That fluttery dropping sensation is literally your digestive system being temporarily shut down so your body can prepare to fight or run. You are not falling in love. Your body is preparing for danger. Now here's the part that will really get you. Your body cannot tell the difference between fear and excitement. They produce the exact same chemical response. The same adrenaline rush, the same racing heart, the same butterflies. There's a famous study from the 1970s called the Capilano Bridge experiment. Scientists had an attractive researcher approach men on 2 different bridges. One bridge was a solid, safe bridge. The other was a terrifying, narrow suspension bridge swaying high above a river. The men on the scary bridge were far more likely to call the researcher afterward and rate her as more attractive. Why? Because their bodies were already flooded with adrenaline from the fear of the bridge. And when the researcher appeared, their brains looked at all that adrenaline and said, "This must be attraction. This must be love." They weren't more attracted to her. They were just already scared, and their brains told them the wrong story. Scientists call this misattribution of arousal. Your brain feels a physical sensation and then looks around for something to blame it on. And if an attractive person is nearby, your brain will happily hand them the credit for feelings they didn't actually create.
So, what does this mean for the people in your life who gave you butterflies? Think about it. Think about the relationships that felt the most intense. The ones where you were completely addicted, where you checked your phone constantly, where one text from them could ruin or make your entire day, where you felt electric when they were close, but anxious when they were gone. That roller coaster feeling, that push and pull, wasn't passion. It was anxiety. It was your nervous system stuck in a constant loop of threat and relief. Threat when they were distant, relief when they came back. And your brain was labeling that entire loop as love because it felt so intense. Here is the cruel science behind it. When someone is inconsistent, hot one day, cold the next, available then suddenly distant, your brain releases dopamine in unpredictable bursts. And unpredictable dopamine is the most addictive kind. It is the same mechanism behind slot machines. You don't get addicted to a machine that pays out every time. You get addicted to the one that pays out randomly, because your brain becomes obsessed with chasing the next hit.
The person who texts back sometimes, who shows up fully, then disappears, who makes you feel chosen, and then makes you question everything. They are a slot machine, and your brain is completely hooked. Now, I want you to think about something else. Think about a relationship or a person in your life who felt calm, steady, safe, where you knew where you stood, where they said what they meant, where there was no game, no guessing, no anxiety. Did it feel boring? Did you find yourself thinking there's no spark? Did you pull away because it felt too easy? Here is what was actually happening. Your nervous system had nothing to be afraid of. No threat, no uncertainty, no adrenaline. So there were no butterflies. And because you had been taught your whole life that butterflies equal love, calm felt wrong. Safe felt like settling. Steady felt like a red flag instead of a green one.
Like, you walked away from something real because it didn't feel like anxiety. And this is where it gets even deeper. Psychologists have found that the kind of attachment we form in childhood has a massive influence on what feels like love to us as adults. If you grew up in an environment where love felt unpredictable, where affection had to be earned, where you never quite knew if you were enough, then unpredictable love will feel familiar to you as an adult. And familiar feels like home, even when home wasn't safe. This is called anxious attachment. And people with anxious attachment don't just prefer the hot and cold person, they are biologically more attracted to them. Their nervous system lights up for uncertainty the way other people's nervous systems light up for safety.
So it was never about the other person being special. It was about them feeling familiar. It was about them matching a pattern your nervous system already knew. So how do you tell the difference? How do you know if what you feel is love or just adrenaline wearing love's clothes? Ask yourself this. When you are away from this person, do you feel peaceful or anxious? Do you feel like yourself, or do you spend most of your time trying to figure out what they are thinking? Does being around them make you feel more like yourself or less? Real love, the kind that actually lasts, doesn't feel like a roller coaster. It feels like coming home. It feels like being able to breathe. It feels like safety that doesn't bore you, but grounds you. The butterflies might be quieter, but they are steady, and they are real.
The butterflies from anxiety disappear the moment the person becomes consistent, because there is nothing left to be afraid of. But the butterflies from genuine connection, from someone who actually sees you and chooses you without games, those don't go away. They just change. They become something warmer, something deeper, something that doesn't make you sick with worry, but makes you feel like you finally landed somewhere. So next time someone gives you butterflies, pause. Ask yourself what kind they are. Are they the kind that make you feel alive? Or the kind that make you feel like you're waiting for something to go wrong? Because you deserve the kind of love that doesn't make you anxious. You deserve the kind that makes you feel safe enough to actually be yourself. And if someone is giving you butterflies that feel more like dread than delight, it's okay to put that feeling down. It's okay to choose calm. It's okay to choose steady. It's okay to choose someone who makes your nervous system feel like it can finally rest.
If they give you butterflies, check what kind they are, because not all butterflies are worth chasing. If your mind works like mine and you always end up asking yourself these kinds of questions, you're in the right place. Drop a comment with a random question you've always wondered about. I might make it the next video. And if you don't want to miss that, you know what to do.